Hi, this is IK Tutors. We have another problem here. This is problem number 26 that is requested by one of our students. Okay, so let's read it. It's a word problem, so we're going to have to convert the word problem into an equation and then solve that equation for the unknown. Right? So how do we convert a word problem to equation? We have to look at the numbers to see what type of equation it is. Once we know what type of equation it is, then we know what type of formula we need to use to set up. So let's take a look at it. If we're looking at this problem, we see that it's ratios, right? They're comparing sets of things, right? It says that it starts off with a 0.75% sodium chloride solution is actually 0.75 milligrams of sodium chloride per 100 milliliters of solution. So that's the first ratio. And then they go on to say how many milligrams of sodium chloride would be contained in 3 liters of solution. So that's the second ratio. And they want us to round the answers to the nearest 10. So let's go ahead and go to the whiteboard and do this problem. Okay, so you see here we have set up a problem. We have the 0.75 milligrams over the 100 milliliters, right? And then we have the unknown number of milligrams represented by X, that's what they're asking us to find, over uh, 3,000 milliliters. Now, where do we get the 3,000 milliliters from? Because they told us 3 liters. Well, this problem is two parts. There's the proportion ratio part and there's a conversion part, right? So we have to convert that 3 liters. See if I can get this to go away. For some reason it doesn't want to go away. So we have to convert that 3 liters to milliliters. Okay. So that's easy enough to do. We can do it in a three-step process. So if we look over to the left, we see unit conversion, right? In order to convert anything into anything else, we first have to write the conversion factor, right? So we're going from liters to milliliters, and we see at the bottom here, 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. That's our conversion factor. Two, we're going to put that conversion factor into fractional format. So which goes on top, right? How do we know which one goes on top? We know based on the question. We know in the question we're looking to get milliliters, so we can have our ratio unit set up correctly, right? So we want to end up with milliliters, so we're going to put milliliters on the top. Whatever we want to end up with goes on the top, right? So milliliters goes on the top, and the other thing goes on the bottom. And step three, final step, we're going to multiply our conversion factor by what's given. So what's given? They gave us 3 liters. So it's going to be 3 liters. You guys can't see this. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah, it's better. So it's going to be 3 liters times 1,000 times the conversion factor 1,000 milliliters over 1 liter. Right. Now we go ahead and follow the rules of fractions for that. One of them is that we cannot multiply if we have a fraction in the equation. All the numbers have to be in fractional format. So we just put a 1 underneath the 3 liters. That takes care of that. Now we have to multiply fractions, and the rule is that we multiply across the top, we multiply across the bottom, and we cancel out any units or factors that are matching in the top and bottom. We see that we have a liter on the top, which cancels out with the liter on the bottom. Now we can go ahead and cross and multiply across the top and bottom, and we get 3 times 1,000 milliliters, which gives us 3,000 milliliters, and 1 on the top, and then on the bottom we have 1 times 1, and anything divided by 1 is itself, so we have 3,000 milliliters is our conversion. So now we know that 3 liters equals 3,000 milliliters. So now we can go and finish setting up our proportion ratio problem, right? So we have an unknown amount of milligrams, which is what they asked us of sodium chloride, over 3,000 milliliters equals 0.75 milligrams over 100 milliliters. Now we can use our three-step process for solving proportion ratio, which is we're going to write the equivalence of two fractions, which is what we have here. We have one fraction equal another, and it's, with the proportions is always going to be one fraction equal another and either x on the top and the bottom. Here we have the x on the top, okay? And then the next step is we're going to cross multiply to get that equation. Remember, we're translating a word problem into the equation, and then we're going to solve the equation for the unknown. So we have to get the equation, so we cross multiply. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to multiply, and we're cross multiplying the tops and the bottoms. So we're going to multiply the top here, 0.75 milligrams, by the bottom, 3,000 milliliters. Right, so it's going to be 0.75 times 3,000 equals, and then we multiply the other top and bottom, x on the top times 100 on the bottom. So that's going to be 100x. Okay, now we multiplied it. Now the next step and last step here is to simplify and solve. So let's go ahead and do that. We got 100x equals, now 0.75 times 3,000 is going to give us 2,250, right? And now we're going to go ahead, we simplified that side. Now we're going to go ahead and solve, right? And how do we solve an equation? We always focus on the side of the equation with the variable side of equal sign. And whatever operation is happening to our variable, which is the letter, we're going to do the opposite. So we're multiplying the variable by 100. We're going to do the opposite and divide by 100. And then we know that whenever there's an equal sign, whatever operation doing one side of the equal sign, we must do the identical operation on the other. So we're going to divide the other side of the equal sign by 100 as well. And now we just simplify. So 100x divided by 100 is 1x, which is the same as saying x, equals 2,250 divided by 100, which gives us 2.25, right? So we have x, remember x equals the amount of milligrams in that 3 liters of sodium chloride solution, so milligrams of salt. So we have 2.25 milligrams of sodium chloride in that solution, that 3,000 milliliter solution, right? And that is our answer. So I hope this helped. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Have an amazing day.